Hello, hello, hello. Today we're talking about the Alembic pot head and whether you should buy it or not. Now, the price varies depending on where you get it from. It's typically around about £160 though. So, what is it and why should you use it? Well, it replaces the standard steel lid that the boilers come with. Has the same hole size, same rubber seal. Obviously, it's fully made of copper. Now, there's only two reasons for using this. The first is headroom. Now, what that means is your 25 litre mark is around about here. So you're going to be filling it up around about this line. Let's put that on there. Obviously, you get unspent sugars and there are other things inside the boiler. When it's heated up, it will then start to foam and bubble. That's why we put in the distiller's conditioner or using some sort of oil-based substitute. So that is going to bubble up. How much bubble? How much sugar is in there? In theory, not much, but you don't know. And it's possible that it could rise up here and it will get to here. And then when you have your condenser on here, it will then, the foam or the bubbles will then come up, get into your condenser, and then it will then clog up your packing. And that will result in a puke where you're just getting constant fluid pouring out of there. Now, on a T500 or a product or a reflux condenser, that is a big issue because that means that basically you've got to shut it all down. You've got to take this apart. You've then got to clean all the packing because there's all rubbish stuff all around it. Now on the Alembic pot still condenser, it's not so much of an issue. You're still going to get a puke coming out of it and you've still got to shut it down and then take that and reload it back in. And because there's no glass fronts, no windows, you can't see how much is in there and you can't then try to deal with it. So, bit of an issue. But if you have this, now look at the headroom. You've got all of this and all of that. And then obviously once the bubbles get up to here, that's when you've got a problem. Now, yes, you've got a big problem, but if you've got that much full of bubbles and foam in there, you've got a problem with your wash and you need to deal with it and work out what is causing this. Are you putting enough distiller's conditioner in there? Are you allowing it to ferment out enough? So that's something you need to look at. So still very helpful because it could cause or stop the chances of an issue. Second thing is the contact with vapor. So it's copper with vapor. Now you can see it's quite messy, my one. It's not that bad though, but so it's all around the whole sulfur vapors being attracted and sort of like neutralized by copper. So it's always been a big thing about putting as much copper in the path of your vapor so then that way it can reduce that eggy smell and taste. So having this big volume area is a really good thing because obviously there's a lot more copper contact. Brilliant. There is a downside though. Now, if you're using just the Alembic condenser, it's fine. Nice size, nice everything. It is lifted off a lot more, so you might need to use a bigger tube or more books or whatever you're using to then raise your collection container off, but yeah, it's not a problem. Where the problem does come, though, is with the T500. Now, you can't quite see my ceiling, but if you can see the end, and it's now touching the ceiling. I can't get it on. It physically will not fit on there. Even if I remove the rubber tubing, which obviously means water will pour everywhere, but it still will not go on. It's too high now. So that now means that I've got to run this on the floor, which I know you can't see. That is now sitting on the boiler. Issue is the output is now level with my work surface. So I can't put a collection container here. I've now got to run the collection container on the floor. Again, might not be a bit of a problem. I've got quite a few cats, and while they know not to drink alcohol, they're good that way. At the same point, you hope they won't knock it over. I've got 2 young children, and again, they know not to touch any of my stuff, but what happens if they drop something in the kitchen like a ball and it rolls over and it hits my collection glass and falls over, smashes anything. So it's a bit of a pain being forced to now run this on the floor. You may have taller ceilings than me. I think these are standard ceilings, but realistically, you're going to need to run this on the floor. So it might not be an issue for you. It could be an issue for you. Don't know. Just be aware of that. So I would personally recommend, if you've got the spare money lying around, I'd say get it. I like it. I use it all the time when I'm doing my spirit runs. I don't use it when I'm doing I use this when I do my stripping runs, but I don't use this when I'm doing my spirit runs. Because the whole idea is when I'm doing my 2 runs, the first one is where I want to get it out quick, and I'm hoping that most of the sulfur will be removed, if not all of it. And then when I do my spirit run, I will then switch over to the ordinary lid, and I will run it nice and slowly. Could run this on both. I don't. My preference, really. So there you go. I hope you found this informational and helpful, and you get a little bit more understanding now whether or not you should buy it or not. If you do have any questions, do post them in the post them below, and see you next time.